Yep.
Hello, hello, my dear friends. You've reached Elena's bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. She'll help improve your fitness, but there's also so much more. 'Cause here are just a few things that this channel has in store. There's Barre and there's Pilates and there's belly dancing too. And many styles of yoga, so I'm sure there's one for you. Then watch her practice pianist string from right within her home. She's in such big condition, she'll outrun the metronome. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. They're the best place on the internet, the very best by far. It's not just the piano, but the ukulele too. The guitar and violin are even more that she can do. She does so many different things, it's hard not to lose track. I nearly didn't mention that she posts on her Substack. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. Yet controversial topics may be brought up for discussion, but try not to provoke her or she'll swear at you in Russian. And sometimes certain topics can make quite a big impression. So remember, you take part at your own risk and your discretion. Yeah, Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. You might even meet Anita if you're quite a loyal fan. She's got a fixed male cat, but she's so desperate for a man. We've really got it all, then you couldn't ask for more. So sit right back and watch Elena shave a 3 or 4. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre. The best place on the internet, the very best by far.
Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Barre and the Resurgence of Sanity. How are you doing, guys, today?
Doing good.
I'm doing great.
Yeah. Doing great. Awesome. Well, my husband decided to sleep in today because he had a couple of rough days. But we with guys today are going to talk about a fun topic. I've been looking forward to this one. But first, let me welcome everyone here who is here today. White Claws, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, remember that we check on your comments sometimes, and if you have something to say, feel free to drop us a comment. Tell us what you think about the topics. We appreciate your feedback. Remember to please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. And yeah, let's dive into this topic, guys.
I think I need to do a preface here.
Yes, go for it.
Elena has been suffering from allergies for the past few days. Today, she's animated. She's been down. Her voice wasn't working so well. So she's got all these words stored up. Plus, she's got her energy back. So she's in rare form today.
Yeah, now, even though I only slept 5 hours, Steve.
Because of that, this is going to be spicy. Now, Elena likes to rile up the women. Nick doesn't care. So now it's time for the trigger alert. Ladies, if you're watching this, we're talking about femininity and male opinion of femininity. Oh, tune out right now because, if you're a feminist, you are going to be triggered. So this is your friendly trigger alert message.
Yes, thank you, Steve. Thank you.
I'd also like to point out that we actually did an episode similar to this on the Resurgence of Sanity 7 months ago called Masculinity, Femininity, and Hair.
Oh, right. You did that. Okay.
Nick led that one. It was a good stream.
I remember that one. And here.
I think you gave us some articles on hair length on that one.
I think so. Yeah, the hairstyles, how they change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. It was a lot of research that we put into that one. Yeah, guys, highly recommend that live stream. Go watch it. You're going to love it. Yeah, in the meanwhile,
Definitely.
guys, I came
Definitely.
across this definition on Google. Okay, let's see what AI came up for us from Google. Um, okay, what does being feminine look like? Okay, so the traits such as nurturance, sensitivity, sweetness, supportiveness, gentleness, warmth, passivity, cooperativeness, expressiveness, modesty. That's a good one. Humility, empathy, affection, tenderness, being emotional, okay, kind, helpful, devoted, understanding are stereotypically feminine qualities. What do you think?
There's some good stuff in there. I don't think women are really empathetic.
Yeah,
I think that's just a common trope, but I think it's complete bullcrap. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, that brings up, okay, all good. According to the traditional definitions of those words or the evolved
Mm.
definitions which women come up with, for instance, empathy. Empathy in women is not really caring about the other person, it's placating and pandering so they don't hurt their feelings.
Mm. And it only works on other women. If you're talking about a woman, she's not going to be empathetic to a man. She's not going to pander and placate
oh, but they
his
expect the
feelings.
man to do that to the woman
Oh,
somehow.
exactly.
Yet he's
Yeah,
not but he's not empathetic, but the woman can't be empathetic towards the man, ironically.
right. Right. And then another one I found fascinating. You're going to love it, this one. It's emotional intelligence. Okay, let me read another one for you here. These qualities are associated with the woman's unique perspective and emotional intelligence. So these qualities are nurturing, sensitivity, empathy, creativity, and intuition.
Oh, the feminine mystique.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, emotional intelligence, it's valuing feelings over facts.
Yeah.
yeah. Feels before reals.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're not very intelligent.
Well, they don't have the emotional regulation, and I think that yeah, we've watched a couple of videos, guys. We are going to show to you shorter videos today where we will mostly debunk, but there was a longer one made by a woman actually, where she was saying that women, because they rely on their emotions, they are lacking emotional intelligence. Actually, they are lacking emotional regulation.
Women lacking emotional regulation. Wow, I
Mhm.
learn something
Wow,
new
what a
every day.
I know, right?
well,
Yeah.
Elena, don't you see that when you post stuff on Instagram or Twitter, and then they get all riled up and start trying to shame you for hurting feelings?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see it all the time. Yeah.
So,
Hey,
okay, is PMS a thing? Does
See,
it exist?
apparently, I mean, it's oh, you mean like does it exist only during a specific time of the month, or does it
Okay,
everlasting?
let
You know?
does a woman, average woman, ever use, oh, I was PMSing? Does she ever use that as an excuse or an explanation?
Hmm, maybe
Yeah, they do.
they
They may
do.
not say it.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, it was that time of the month. I was just a little bit out of sorts. So we're supposed to trust female judges and their decisions
Hmm.
all month long. I guess, female judges do not go through the emotional cycles based on their hormonal cycles during the month. They're going to judge things fairly, rationally, logically, regardless of how they're feeling. Do you believe that?
Hey, I heard an acronym for that, Steve. It's called FSL.
Okay, what is it, Nick?
I think Steve knows what FSL is, don't you, Steve?
No, it's not coming to mind.
Okay. Female. Oh, we're past the 8-minute mark. Female shit logic.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
okay.
Well, let's just say the emotions get involved, and instead of actually having a rational argumentation, being more objective, their logic tends to be highly regulated instead of by facts and logic, but by emotions and fitting in.
Yeah,
Consensus and emotions.
yeah. And then they get so upset when you don't understand their feelings, when you're not empathetic enough to their experiences. There was one lady. Oh my gosh, guys, I have to tell you this. I'm sorry. Okay, I triggered a Russian woman on social media. Shocker, right?
Big surprise.
I know, right? So she wrote a long, long message there saying that I'm too categorical, and she hopes that I would rethink my attitude and pay attention to her words of wisdom. To which I said no.
It's Elena, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I know, right? Tone policing. Is it called tone policing?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So, guys, I digged up 4 archetypes. There are many more feminine archetypes. They call them sacred archetypes on Google. But the 4 main ones are dependent on your menstrual cycle, actually. So, the maiden, the mother, the wild woman, and the crone. A crone is wise woman. I checked that one out. What do you think about it? I see Steve is laughing.
The maiden. Okay, that's the virgin.
Okay.
The mother. Okay, that's the good wife.
Mm-hmm.
The wild woman. That's the village whore.
Yes.
The crone is the old hag. So yeah, I'll agree with these.
You'll agree with these ones? Makes sense, right? Nick, what would you say?
I'm alternating on crone between the nun and the witch. Oh, the one with the Madonna complex. No, so the
No.
maiden and the wild woman could be one woman, but it could be the mask she wears instead of just embracing what is
Exactly.
natural and using it in its proper sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
could be
God,
so like wild woman. Every man wants a wild woman
for himself.
for himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
He also wants the maiden for himself, but yet he
Well,
wants the purity. Oh, he wants nobody else involved with his woman. No other men. No other in a sexual sense, I guess you could say.
Okay, let's talk about male headship. The maiden is under the male headship of her father. The mother, the wife, is under the male headship of her husband. The wild woman is not under any male headship.
Mm-hmm.
And the crone is also not under any male headship.
Mm-hmm. So I would actually, based on this logic, I would link the wild woman with the crone wise woman, because they usually end up being single cat ladies who are justifying and rationalizing their choices, saying Jesus is my boyfriend and all sorts of crap. So I would actually
So
link these two.
they're more witch than nun.
Yeah. Yeah, because which is not a virgin. Good luck finding a nun. I mean, even if they say it's also a mask she could be wearing.
Or you could say widow, old widower. You could think old widower.
Ah, old widow.
Widow, you mean?
Widow, yeah.
Widow is a woman. Widower is a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The old widow one. Sorry. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, she could have left her husband. Oh, there was a recent post, guys, from one lady where I triggered the post of the lawyers. I love to go after lawyers sometimes, especially female lawyers, because they're just victimizing women, and then they say how horrible men are, but they don't say directly. They are so sneaky about it. They just heavily implied, as if it's a man's fault. Men are bad, men are evil. So feeding the beast, basically. And then I did say that, you know, instead of victimizing women, maybe they could be saying something else. But anyway, there was a woman, she responded and she said, so when I divorced my husband, or I initiated divorce when my husband started having an affair. He was living with his lover, and then he stopped supporting our children. But then like she put the word husband in parenthesis, like define the husband then, and then define support, because it's like, even if he
Well,
like what kind of support is it?
so he left her for another woman.
Yes.
So he's not a husband indeed. So like you can be a wife indeed or a
Okay,
husband indeed. So he was not a husband in the true sense of that term.
I
He
see.
failed. Yeah.
But I'm kind of doubting this,
Yeah.
because there are two
True.
aspects to this: the man who leaves for another woman and the man who abandons his children. Those are two completely separate things.
Well, if women unite them, this is where I think she
Oh, yeah, they do.
Mhm.
But men who leave for another woman, and it happens, it's not
Mhm.
as common as people think, but that man does not necessarily abandon his children.
That's
So
true.
if he's not giving her support,
Yeah.
but he's still sending money for the children, he's going to equate that with he's not supporting the children because he's not supporting her.
Exactly.
Those are, they're not that closely linked. Would you
Or they are
agree, Nick?
completely. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, let's just say I've had this trope. I've been maligned, accused of abandoning my ex-wife and my children. That's her story. The truth is a whole nother matter. So women will say this while hiding the actual reality behind that. So whatever she claims, he could be supporting the children financially and stuff, but she still wants to be supported. I think, you know, she chose to leave. I guess he might have chose to leave either way, but he didn't abandon his kids. But with the current system, the woman usually ends up getting the kids, and then they can weaponize that against the man, saying, "Oh, he's just this deadbeat dad. He doesn't care about his kids." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But again, that's her story.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times when you press women for details, they leak information and you'll realize, okay, well, that's her story. The truth is somewhere over here.
Yeah, well, this is why I asked you.
Is it all the time? No. Is it all the time? No.
Yeah. I did
But you should press.
I did ask you about like define the husband because she did mention him in parentheses, and also support. Like what kind of support did you expect from him, or yeah, from based on what she tells? I'm just trying to extract more information from her and see, because women, yeah, women do it, and then they get pissed off that the man is not prioritizing her. He is not giving her all the adoration. The support doesn't go for her, and she's because, yeah, like you said, she gets the kids, the custody assigns the kids to her. Then she can weaponize the kids against the father. She can brainwash them, and then she can get resources from that man through her kids. Technically, she's using her kids as a weapon against her man or ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, to extract more resources from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this is where I see the inconsistencies with what the lawyers say. But we will get into this topic, guys, next week. We are actually going to have a special guest, and we will be talking about why marriages fall apart. And I will bring up some videos from the lawyers, especially female lawyers, what women tell to other women. So yeah, okay. In regards to femininity, guys, yeah, I see so many female content creators. I'm going to bring up one example today, but there are a lot of messages like that on social media, especially. I'm sure if you do some homework, you're going to see all of these similar kinds of messages to women. Women are preaching just be more feminine. If you want a masculine man, just be a feminine woman. But what happens is that they don't know how to be feminine. Nobody really knows. I don't think we are so far from femininity, honestly. So today we are going to dive in deeper into the traditional definition of the word versus what the feminists came up with and how they try to package it to sell to the masses and to the big female audience. And we will talk about one author here. Shall I show you the video first, or do you have any thoughts, guys?
Can I share a slide?
Go ahead. Okay.
This would be something your husband would usually do, and I tend to do. I'll present the definition, a
Awesome.
classic definition from 1828.
Okay.
So I'll share a screen. Here we go. Share this. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
There it is.
I gotta blow it up a bit. I'm gonna zoom in so people can see it. Is that clear enough?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So feminine's, I guess there's probably a noun form too, feminine, but as the adjective from the Latin femininus, from femina, woman. The first syllable may be and probably is from womb or womb by the use of the F for W, the B not being radical. The last part of the word is probably from man, quasi fem man, womb man, or in Hebrew it's ish is man, and isha is woman. So the woman is from man. So pertaining to definition one, pertaining to a woman or to women or to females as the feminine sex. Soft, tender, delicate, or heavenly, angelic, but more soft and feminine. 3, effeminate, destitute of manly qualities. 4, in grammar, denoting the gender of words which signify females, or the termination of such words which are said to be of the feminine gender, as they denote females or have the terminations proper to express females in any given language. Thus, in Latin, dominus, a lord, is masculine, but domina is mistress, a female. Okay. And Milton uses feminine as a noun for female. So that's feminine. But notice it's like that pertaining to being a woman, soft, tender, delicate. This is probably something you'll see in the 19th century, this angelic view of woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's typical of the time. I think that's an error.
I want to talk about those two things: the angelic, the soft, and the delicate. So, in the course of my trying to figure things out, I listened to this was a Catholic priest, a good man. I admire him, just very wise. But he was doing a seminar on marriage, and he talked about the sexual desire of males and females. Oh, women are kind of like a toaster oven. It needs to be warmed up. It's not ready to go in the moment. Men are like a microwave oven, ready to go at any moment. And, kind of playing into this idea where, you got to warm her up and get her going and have her be receptive and don't be, you got to treat her gently. Now, in the red pill, do we know, is that true? No. No. If you trigger a woman, she is ready to go, and she'll go with a bad boy at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you've done any research on female porn use, women oftentimes go for the more aggressive type stuff than men do.
That's so true.
Women have a desire to be dominated. So are women delicate and fragile when it comes to their sexuality? Not so much. They kind of want to be dominated, and they like some pretty I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to use the word extreme, but more dominant type copulating than most men. And women are very sturdy when it comes to some of these things. So this idea that she's angelic and she doesn't have an appetite for being dominated, I'll just put it that way, that's baloney. But that's what's told in the Christian church. And so the good Christian men are taught, you need to warm her up. You need to be nice to her. Maybe she'll give you some.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes a woman is actually aroused by the raw male aggression. Now, this is not a scary thing, because men know about aggression, and men know how far to push it and how far is too far. They learn that from other males. We give other males a lot of crap. We may get in a dust up with another guy. We have restraint from pushing it too far. We use that restraint with women too. So that women are not as delicate as you think they are.
Well, I remember there was an author. What was your name? I forgot your middle name. Friday. Her last name was Friday, where she wrote a book about female devious sexual desires, where she anonymously collected the sexual experiences that women wanted to experience, and then a lot of women responded to her, and then she summarized them in a book. And a lot of those experiences were what Steve is describing. They wanted aggressive type of sex. They wanted to be dominated by dominant masculine man. So yeah.
So I also want to say, yes, they want that, but they all are also, in general, compared to a man, more soft and tender, right?
Yeah.
Their bodies are, but don't mistake their bodies for doing that but then thinking that everything that you do to them has to correlate with that. That's not true.
So, okay, look at it this way. A woman wants to know that the man really wants her.
Right.
And she wants to feel like the man will take what he wants. And she is so alluring that he loses control and takes her because he wants her. Okay, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But she also doesn't want to be, can't go too far. Let me say that. This, what we're talking about here, is not a flaw in women. It's not wrong. It's not something to be ashamed of. It just is. Okay, just accept it and don't. Okay, obviously you can't go too far to the cruelty, abusive side, but don't also think that she is so prim and proper and angelic that you can't give her a good scene to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of feeds straight into the narrative or the mask that women are trying to show by being this angelic women who is the girls go Bible, I'm Madonna, I'm so pure. Don't touch me,
But
right?
and I think the red pill is a good corrective to some of this crap that I guess it could have passed in a more Christianized era, like this dictionary is 1828.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of the beginning of the Victorian era, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Women were held accountable. It did the village did hold women accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is they didn't always step out. They still did, just nowhere anywhere close to the extent now. They didn't always step out on their husbands. They had shame and there's repercussions, and everybody, the church, the society, family, held them accountable, and they're raised under fathers predominantly.
Yeah,
So these women were kept in check. And
yeah,
so they were generally had a more moral demeanor about them. So some men could probably would they would err and thinking that they always have to be treated so softly and delicately to ever hurt my dear lady. But I think the red pill is a good corrective to that, as understanding what their actual desires are versus what we dream them up to be.
mm,
So there's an aspect here. Nick's kind of dancing around it. Back in those times, a man had physical control over his wife.
yeah,
Take that for what you want. But there was DV DV laws were not in place. Did men go too far? Yeah, occasionally. There were plenty of examples. But the average man still had physical domination and control and power over his wife. In our modern world, no.
yeah.
No, she can be physical with the man, but
Mhm.
if he returns any sort of equal physical interaction, okay, he's the bad guy. And back in those days, men did physically control their wives, which ironically prevented a lot of wives from stepping out because there were consequences to play.
Yeah.
So you got to think about this in historical context.
Yeah.
And we've gone so far to the other direction that women are really unrestrained these days.
Yes, that's a great point. This is where I wanted us to go, because they are trying to apply this context on modern day and age where it's not going to work. So they say, oh, women are so pure, women are so awesome. But we realize that we have the hormonal birth control, the sexual revolution. We can't undo all of these things. We can't undo the internet. We can't undo the social media, and they desperately try to assign these women are these perfect little angels that can do no wrong, and men are so abusive, men are so horrible. When it's actually the other way around, because who holds the power today? It's the women. Who is in charge of all of these institutions? It's the women. Who holds the high positions there? It's the women. How did they get to them? Oh well, I wrote it in my article. They had to fuck somebody influential who would put them there. This is how usually women gain status. This is how usually women gain control. Men give it to them.
Well, Steve, how did that begin? Didn't we see the beginnings of this in the garden? I'm I'm trying to bridge this to you're saying this, and yet this rebellion was in the garden, and we can. Do you mind if we start bridging back to kind of a
Sure.
biblical traditional understanding of femininity? Do you mind?
Oh, you're asking Elena, right? Not me. I don't.
Yeah,
Go for
yeah,
it.
like
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah.
okay, Steve, you can start.
Oh. Okay, so in the garden, man was created first, and he had dominion, and he had duties. He tended the garden. Oh, God gave him the task, name the animals. Oh, how did he have the authority to name the animals? God gave him dominion. Okay, so he did all that. And he attended the garden, and he said, God, I'm kind of lonely here. I've named all these animals, and I've not found among them a suitable companion. So God listened to him and said, oh, yeah, okay. I will make a companion for you. So he put him to sleep, took a rib, and created woman. So woman was created out of man. Why was she created, or what purpose? To be a companion and a helpmeet. She wasn't created to be a boss babe. She wasn't. We see in Genesis, there's no inkling that she was given a share of dominion. There's no inkling that this relationship was created to be a partnership of two equals. No, there was a hierarchy. And then, stuff happened. And she kind of wanted to say and things. And she was listening to some bad influence. And so she ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Adam, like all of us, man, oh, she says this, I want to please her. I value her. Okay, I'll take a bite too. Then you go along and, gee, what was his curse? What was the reason Adam was punished?
The woman.
Because you listened to your wife. You listened to the woman. Instead of doing the right thing, you listened to the woman.
Yeah.
Is that where you wanted me to go, Nick?
Sure. Yeah. And you want me to show you the consequences? This is what anti-femininity is. This is the rebellious one.
Let's go there, Nick.
Okay, so I'll add this to state. Oh, I got to remove.
Yeah,
stop
remove
screen
the
and share screen. There you go. We'll start here. And then I got some scripture of what proper femininity is.
Mhm.
But this is twisted.
Hold on,
femininity.
you're not showing it yet.
Okay,
Nick.
hold on. Yes, let me
Oh,
bring it up here.
and I'll zoom in again. Where's my zoom? There you go. No, a little bigger. Uh-oh.
That's too big. Oh no, it's actually fine. Yeah.
Okay. So Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. I'll say it, the first verse, and I'll skip down a little bit. So there's a hierarchy, right? The hierarchy through sin gets screwed up. And Isaiah 12 talks about that. The people of God should know above all else, the proper hierarchy. But like much of the church in our day, they got it wrong again. Verse 12 describes the hierarchy as a people under judgment. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee to cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. Inverted hierarchy, because who is the head of the family? Who is the head? Are the children equal to the father in the
No,
hierarchy? No. Are women equal to the father in the hierarchy?
no.
No. So it's an inverted hierarchy, which leads to destruction. Up. Here we go. Now this is femininity. These are your trad wives that go to church, right?
Form over
But it's
function.
also the lewd women, not just in the church, but out there, right? It says, moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. They're not humble, right? And walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. And that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their caws, and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings. It's going into a lot of detail. Why is it going into a lot of detail? Because that's the point. The bonnets, ornaments of the legs, the headbands, the tablets, the earrings, the rings, the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass, instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well-set hair, baldness. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth. And burning instead of beauty. Thy men shall fall by the sword, thy mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and being desolate shall sit upon the ground.
Oh, he's basically what's described here is a feminist.
Oh, yeah, well, women do rule over them. The children are their oppressors, women rule over them. Women in rebellion wanting to usurp authority, and generally weak men allow that to happen. So it's effeminate rulers. Actually, people think that it's describing the ruler that acts like a woman and is led by women. So, haughty, stretched forth neck, walking and mincing. They're proud. They say, look at me, look at me. You can say, oh, look at my Instagram.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
look at my low-cut shirt. Look at my handbags, my expensive jewelry, and all my accessories. Oh, and all my nice perfumes and everything. But in reality, they are what? Lipstick on a pig.
Pig, yes. Yes.
Can I point something out here? I went through that explanation about how men were created with dominion. Oh, and you modernists who think in equality and women can do anything men can do. Great, fine. Nick just went through what happens when women become equal, they become dominant, because the curse was, and your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. Okay, so yeah, is that true? What arouses women? Or do they become aroused, sexually aroused by the man who treats them as an equal?
No.
Or do they become aroused by the man who shows dominance, assertiveness, takes what he wants, is the alpha guy? Well, you know what? I think it's more the alpha guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because in marriage, when the church says, well, you're not being nice enough to your wife, you have to listen to her more, you have to cater to her more, you have to listen to her feelings. Does it result in more sex or less sex, Nick?
Less.
Okay,
I would
so
know.
there
I
is
would
something.
know. I live through.
There's
Every
something
time I
deep
try to assert
within.
masculinity, I'm evil,
I know,
Okay,
right?
but she's in rebellion at that point. So that does not negate that a woman becomes aroused by the right man that she wants, who is physically assertive over her.
But how can he be physically assertive over a woman when all of the laws are against him today? This is what I really am struggling with. Okay, we want to say
and
we
the
want
church elders cut your balls off.
exactly. Our
Okay,
society cuts
let me.
men's balls off.
That's simple, Elena. Because you know how women don't recognize 80% of the men, and they
Yeah.
recognize maybe 20, but they really want about 5% of those guys.
Right.
Those 5% of the guys who are, I don't give a fuck.
Mhm.
I'm going to take what I want. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to touch you. I'm going to grab you by the face, grab you by the hair. I might even grope you. Oh, am I doing wrong? Okay, well, call the cops. I don't care. And
I know, right?
because he doesn't care. And you know what? When the irony is, okay, he's recognizing her receptivity and he's pushing it. Yes. And she's aroused by that. Yes.
Okay,
And so
see,
is she
she's
likely to
aroused.
call the cops? No.
Okay. She's aroused by it, but at some moment she can still rebel against him if she gets under the bad influence of her girlfriends, let's say, or
Well, Team
uh,
Woman. Yeah.
Yeah,
team
Look,
woman.
Taylor,
Exactly.
it's what happens.
that's down the road. That's not in the moment.
And could she use against you what she did right there down the road? Yes. And she could also make up crap that never happened against you down the road either way. And she
Yeah.
probably will
Either
do it if
way,
you marry
what
that stupid woman. So yeah.
Yeah.
what actually happened or what she says actually happened that she invented,
Hmm.
both are equally useful. What you did doesn't matter. What she says you did matters. And women will make up crap. So, these guys who just say, fuck it, I'm going for it.
Mm.
It's successful. And no, I'm not advocating SA. No. I'm just saying these men are more assertive than the average man. And they get more action because of it.
Yeah, that's so true.
So, do anybody want to summarize aspects of behavior that is being condemned here in this passage? Aspects of, so there's femininity and then there's the rebellion against femininity, or anybody want to see aspects that are condemned here?
Well, I see a lot of physical aspects, like rings, short hair. What else is there? Like provocative clothing, right?
Immodest and provocative apparel, sure.
Uh-huh. And then like all of these tinkling ornaments and accessories. I would actually say, like, you would transpose it and look at what women are doing today on social media, how they are presenting themselves, like what do they want, what are they chasing? Clout, money, right? Independence. Nick is
Mhm.
pointing out here. Haughty.
Haughty,
Mm-hmm.
stretch forth pride,
Right.
and overestimation of self-worth.
Oh, GPS.
Hmm. And
Right.
what? And are they pure?
Winton
Are they
eyes.
content?
Mm.
No. Mm.
So I'm just intrigued, but verse 17. The Lord will smite. Can a husband smite his wife if he's doing these things?
Does
Not
he
in
have
our
the
modern
ability?
world.
He has the ability, but does he have
Authority.
there's
No,
Mm.
yeah.
he has. I'd say God gave him the authority,
Mm.
but is it legal? No,
No.
hell no. To smite a woman, but God, the Lord will smite the scab of the crown of the daughters of Zion. So the Lord will smite women. And guess what? What's the next part? And the Lord will discover their secret parts. Oh, that would be those secrets. Yeah, I did these things in the past, but nobody
It was just
knows,
in
so it
college.
doesn't
It was
matter.
just that one time it was just that one time in college, Steve.
Well, and see, I
Uh huh.
think this is where women they are not scared of their husband to do those things because they think, well, if Lord doesn't do it to me now, and technically he doesn't really, right? So they can delay either this penance or punishment or the consequences by just saying, well, but Lord loves me unconditionally, and so should you, because they don't get
So,
immediate punishment, for their actions, and our society embraces them for it.
okay, let's talk about the word smite, and
Mhm.
you're calling it punishment. Okay, smite. How about we use chastise? Can a man chastise a woman? Well, no, that might not. She might not feel good about that. Can a man admonish his wife? Admonishment is no. There's no physical thing with admonishment. That's just giving her a stern talking to. Can he do that? No. She might feel bad.
In other translations, it's strike, will send scabs, will put scabs, will afflict, will bring sores. Yeah, so
You know what? And it does really lead us to think that, yeah, this is punishment. And it's punishment by force,
Mhm.
instituted by someone in the hierarchy who has authority over the woman. And he's going to discover her secret parts, which means uncover her lies.
Mm.
So, yes, this will be done by force of some type. How physical is it going to be? I don't know. Could just be life circumstances, but it's not just letting her go on her merry way.
Yeah, until that happens, women are not going to change their behavior. They're not going to. I think what a lot of men are hoping for is that women will come to the realization, and to some degree, I wish there were more women who realized it voluntarily by themselves. They've given up their power, they've given up their control, but they are not going to do it because they don't want to be punished. They don't want to suffer the consequences of their own actions, and we see it every single day with women, especially like online, when you trigger them, that they refuse accountability. They always blame on something or someone else. It's usually the man. man bad narrative.
So in our resurgent streams, we've talked about the pendulum, how it swings from one side to the other. And we're at an extreme right now with the power of women, with the behavior of young women. And listen to some interviews of some of these guys who go out in the streets of Austin, Miami, I said Miami. Places where women are just dressed scantily.
Vegas.
And they're out and they're full of their own bravado.
Yeah.
Okay, so chances are to bring these women under control, it's not going to be pretty. And the pendulum probably just no. I'm not prophesying. I'm not saying this has to happen. I'm just saying it will happen because the pendulum swings back the other way. So if women are so damn empowered today, in 100 years, the pendulum is likely to swing back to the other direction. They won't be empowered at all.
Yeah.
That's what Isaiah 4
maybe
talks
that's what they
about as well.
want.
But I didn't bring that up. But Isaiah 4 shows the pendulum swinging the opposite direction,
Yeah.
where 7 men want to lay hold of 1 man. Just says, please, just give us our name. We'll even provide
7 women. 7 women.
7 women to 1 man. It's like, just give us your name. We'll even have our own food. Just take away our shame.
Yeah. There will be a lot of shameful women and a lot of shame for men to take. I mean,
but the pendulum does swing.
Mm.
But we saw what the opposite of femininity is. Now we can look at timeless truth of 1 Peter chapter 3. So this here they refer to Sarah, right? In 1 Peter chapter 3. So that was roughly what, 2000, so like 2000 years or so before this was written, in the time of the New Testament. So this is Peter writing this and referring back to Sarah. And says, likewise, you wives, this is 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 through 7. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they may also without the word be won by the conversation. That's another word for behavior of the wives. While they behold your chaste conversation, that's behavior, not your talking. While they could behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and the wearing of gold and putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, you husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So contrast this to what Isaiah 3 talked about.
Mm-hmm.
The women in Isaiah 3 were loud. Are they loud? Are the holy women loud here? The proper feminine women?
No.
Are they loud and immodest in apparel with all the things they had in Isaiah 3?
No, they're not.
So it talks about subjection, hierarchy, obedience.
Oh, you know what, Nick? The solution for women to avoid this is simple. Maybe not easy, but it's simple. just be in subjection to your own husband. Okay, and then the next thing is, what if the husband is not a Christian? Well, you're still in subjection, and your demeanor will win the day. So these modern women who says, well, the good Christian women, oh yes, I'm a submissive wife. I submit to my husband in anything that doesn't lead me into sin.
Yeah, right.
And now they are being the judge. They get to judge on what he's doing and what he's asking her to do if it leads her into sin.
Oh, Steve, I
No. You know what? If he's leading you into sin and he's telling you what to do, your first commandment is to obey him.
It's true. I 100%.
And the responsibility falls solely on him. God will not hold you responsible. Now, if your husband, okay, you women, oh, he should go murder somebody. Probably not. But so you're bringing up this absurd example about oh, he told me to do this. I don't think that's right. When he probably only said, yeah, I'm tired of the missionary position. Get on your knees. I'm going to give it to you from behind. Oh, no, that's reality. Not proper. That's sinful.
Oh, that's the game, Steve.
I know, right? I thought that you would say that I'm a good Christian woman. I'm submissive to Jesus. I just clipped your videos for the live stream that you did a while ago. Actually, I highly recommend you to watch that live stream. Those of you who are new here, Jesus is my boyfriend. Go watch that live stream on the Resurgence of Sanity. That was so.
Jesus would never treat me this way. Yeah, he wouldn't. He didn't get married. He didn't one bride. That was the church. He doesn't know her carnally.
For you prim and proper Christians that get offended by the way we talk, we're just bringing the Bible into reality that happens out there. You can have a problem with us talking about it, but you know what? It's still reality. And these are examples of what happens.
Yeah.
So notice here, she's submissive. There's a hierarchy. And it's not won by her speaking, but rather without speaking, by her behavior. She's chaste. She's not immodest. And then it says, oh, the plaiting of the hair.
Oh, wait a second.
Don't be excessive.
Okay, Nick, hold on 1 second here. She is chaste. Okay, this is the part that the feminists really love. They take this part and they say, like, ladies, men love to chase. So do whatever you need to do, so don't fall for them. Know your value, know your worth, after they've been run through whores, let's say. Know your value, know your worth. Don't chase this man. Men are supposed to chase you. They don't mind this part.
Okay, so you're talking about chase and chaste. So it's two different. I know you're Russian. So chase is pursuing. Chaste talks about chastity. Two different things. Okay. English is not your first language. So.
Yeah, I know, guys. Sorry.
No, so.
Oh, right. And I misspelled it.
Chastity. So
chastity.
Not being immodest. So having control over yourself. And not being loud outwardly, but being quiet inwardly. Quiet spirit, meek, not haughty, not loud, not immodest, but modest, meek, and quiet, which is in the sight of God of great price.
Yeah, I misspelled it. Yeah.
So this means the woman should be obedient. She doesn't have to be totally silent because, she is his helpmate. She should be there to provide counsel, to be a listening post, you know? She listens to what her man says. She provides some encouragement, some insight. She can talk to him. She does not need to be silent. What shouldn't she be? Contentious.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be telling him, oh, that's wrong because of this and this and this, or you're doing that wrong, or you screwed that up, or I better take over control because you'll just screw it up. That's a contentious woman. Do not be contentious.
Mm-hmm.
And when he
Chief of
makes a
sinners,
decision, just say, okay, I'm going along with this 100%, but the responsibility is yours.
Yeah.
And he'll say, oh, wow, thank you. Great, let's do it. And he'll be more than willing to take the responsibility if it screws up. And it will screw up from time to time. And then he'll say, well, you know what? That was a bad decision. Now we got to fix it. You know what? You advised against that. I didn't take that into consideration. Yep, I'm responsible for this. So we have to fix it. Now, you, as a woman, your job is to support him in fixing it and endure the hardship. You know, if he invested money badly, now you got to live below your means for a while to fix it. Shut up, suck it up,
Yeah.
be supportive, and you gained a whole bunch of stature by your calm demeanor, being supportive. And he will love you more for supporting him in his bad decisions than if the decision would have gone right. He will actually love you more. Man, I fucked up. My wife is still here. She still supports me. Damn, she is a fine woman. Do you want your husband to feel that way about you?
Yes. Also, it shows that she's loyal to him.
Now,
So,
and if
because
she's a Christian woman and he's not, sorry, Elena, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, all I wanted to say is just she shows that she appreciates him. Even bad things happen, like sometimes like the jobs get lost because the market situation changes, economy changes, right? Politics changes. And when women are ignorant to what happens in the society, this is what I mentioned also in the article, this can lead to misunderstanding and a lack of appreciation and respect for what he is doing. So, yeah, like it's not going to be perfect, but when you are so willing to leave your husband for 10 more cents on the other side there, that same situation, that same shit that happened to your husband can happen to another man. Then what will you do? You will leave that man too? It's
The
like
tradwives will leave their man, contrary to Sarah here, right? Contrary to the holy women. But what's interesting is, oh, but he wasn't a real Christian anyways. Okay, well, so what if he's not a Christian, right? If you want to win him and make them think there's something, oh, Christianity may be real. There may be something to this Jesus thing. Just assume a non-Christian man saying that. Oh, but look how she supported me. Look how she was loyal to me. Not with mere words, but with her behavior.
mm-hmm.
So if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. These trad wives will not do this.
Yeah. Well, because it's
Now,
all LARP for them. It's live action role playing. They are doing it to be publicly seen, them doing it rather than actually following what the Bible says here.
now, this supportive type of woman that Nick and I are talking about is so unbelievably rare. It's just not happening. If you're that kind of woman, damn, is your man going to value you, love you, do whatever is in his power to keep you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's not going to want to discard a woman like this. Because This is the essence of femininity.
Mhm.
She is the pearl of great price that he will gladly work his ass off to provide for. He will even be willing to die for you. But because he values you, and because, yes, even in this time, he is absolutely the head, and you are absolutely supportive, and then you can avoid all these hardships that Nick talked about in the previous Bible passage. So the solution to avoid those hardships is simple. Is it easy? Not really.
Yeah.
Elena,
Donna,
what do I keep telling you
Mhm.
with regards to your husband
Support
and
your
your
husband.
present?
Support your
Maybe
husband.
there's a reason behind that.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Well,
by doing so, you're better than these trad whores.
yeah. I
Even
wouldn't
though you say,
argue with
I'm
that.
not a
Yeah.
traditional woman, but do you support your husband?
Yeah. The religion doesn't really matter in this case. It just are you feminine or are you a control freak, a boss babe? Okay, guys, check out. Donna is going to be joining us next week. Shout out to you, Donna. Thank you so much for sticking around with us today and leaving very good comments here. She has to humble herself first, otherwise, it's fruitless. Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to
mhm.
humble yourself. That
True.
requires having humility.
Mm.
It requires being accountable.
Mm.
Hidden secrets, yeah, they matter and they will come out. Maybe not in this life, but you will be called out for them in the future. And if you abandon your husband because, oh, he was not Christian enough, and you threw him under the bus and you hid your secrets,
Mm-hmm.
I think there might be consequences, not imposed by me. I'm just saying.
Okay, I have to
Yeah,
bring this one up, guys. Sorry. Sheaf is wearing purple and making all accessories purple considered loud.
well, historically, Steve and I would probably understand this more historically about red and purple, and they're used for people of high esteem and station. It is proper to have purple or red, depend if it's according to your historically speaking, back when they're kings and queens and lords and all that. It was proper to have those on you. Now there was all still a way to make it way too loud than it should be, but yeah, there's things proper according to your station and means.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we see this the last couple days. Hobbyist popum? We have a new pope. The pope shows up. What color does he wear? Red.
Red, yeah.
Whether you agree with the pope or the institution or not, he is a man in a high level of power. He wears red. That's traditional.
Oh, okay. I have a leading question in regards to women. So, would you recommend women wearing purple or red then, if it's signaling power?
No, it doesn't. It's
It doesn't.
fine.
Okay.
We don't live in that time period anymore.
Yeah.
There's a way to make it loud that is not necessary. You can
Okay.
still dress
Yeah,
modestly without being loud with those
it's
colors.
not a big deal. The reason for the red and the purple historically were those were very expensive cloth dyes. You
Mm-hmm.
had to be very wealthy to buy the dyes necessary to dye your clothing red or purple. And
Mm.
so it implies wealth in being seen that way. So, if I saw an attractive woman in a red dress, am I going to condemn her for wearing a red dress? No.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Donna responds, only hard because women are drinking the social media Kool-Aid. So true. So true. And not just social media, it's everything. Yeah, we are going to have fun with her next week, guys. Join us. We will talk about relationships and why marriages break up. So, yeah, very, very interesting conversation today.
Also, look,
So,
weaker vessel.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
next week
women
when
are weaker. Sorry, go
next
ahead,
week
Steve.
when Donna is on here, I'm gonna challenge her. I'm not gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
mean. We're gonna have a good debate. I welcome her on here, but I'm not gonna placate and pander. And I hope to learn something from it, and I hope she learns something from it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love the idea of challenging the ideas and beliefs. I think we need to bring it back because it actually defines the ideas, and yeah, we are doing it to to find the truth, and also challenge ourselves mentally. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. So yeah, Nick, you were saying wife is a weaker vessel.
And so more modern commentaries will limit this only to physical weakness. And yet a lot of them will still try to explain that away to try to say, no, women are equal in every way to the man. And that's just, well, you know, given that time period. But actually, some of the more older commentaries don't just limit it to physical weakness, like compared to a man. So men obviously are stronger, but also this can be referred to mental fortitude
Yeah.
and ability to be led astray.
Mm.
Women tend to be more liable to deception.
Oh yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
The fortitude in the leading the way, okay, that's a male aspect. The women being, I'm going to say, more pliable and influenceable means they should be more influenced by their husband and fall under his headship and then become a good helpmeet. If she was stubborn minded, pig headed, she doesn't really fulfill her role. So the fact that she is more easily swayed, is that a benefit in a marriage? Yeah.
I think so too. And obviously, there's a reason why. So, going back to Genesis chapter 3, there is a reason why there was reversal of the hierarchy through in the garden. Why the snake, which is lower, which is an animal and under both the dominion of man and woman, right, went after the weaker vessel of humanity, of man and woman, who went after Eve to get at the man, to get
Exactly.
the man
He
also
didn't go
rebel
after the man.
against God. It's a total reversal of the hierarchy in Genesis chapter 3. It was the hierarchy put on its end. So he went after where the hedge is lowest, the
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah, he didn't
So,
go after Adam. He went after
No.
Eve. Mhm.
Hmm?
so Elena
Yes.
or Nick, is Jesus superior to you?
Yes.
Are you inferior to Jesus?
Yes.
Yes.
Was Jesus willing to die for you?
Yes.
Yes.
So, if husband as to wife is the same as Christ to the church, the husband is superior to the wife is
Mhm.
inferior to the husband. But will a husband sacrifice his life, his physical life, and his well being to work his ass off for her and provide for the family and protect her and even die for her, even though she's his inferior? Is that believable?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, a lot of men, they already do it. They don't get the validation that usually women get on social media for just being a mommy or being a fempreneur, all of that veneration that women are seeking. Men just do it because they do it. It's their job, right? They have a mission, they have a purpose, and they are protecting their wives, they are protecting their children, they are busting their asses off to provide for their families. They don't have to be Christian to do all of those things. It's just like male nature. This is what men are programmed to do.
Not programmed. No. This is our nature.
Oh, nature, yeah. Well, I mean, like design.
This is how God created us. This exists within us.
Yes.
Yes, it's not always shown correctly. Yes, a lot of men screw it up. But there is something innate in a man that drives him to do this. Especially, and it's activated. It is activated by finding that good woman who obeys him and supports him. You have no idea what this does to a man and his abilities and his drive and his sense of purpose. Women have no idea. It's like it's a catalyst that activates a man. And no, it doesn't always work with all men, but in general, it works.
Yeah. It's interesting. You said that, okay, I meant to say like men are programmed, but it's actually a good thing that you call it out, because programmed is something that is not natural, right? You can convince people.
I mean, I'm not
against their the law of nature.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just pointing out, okay, this is how we use language. And then if you leave it there, other people will take that language and say, oh, it means this. No, it doesn't mean that.
Yeah, true.
So I'm just illustrating the difference. We're in agreement.
That's good. That's good.
I know you didn't mean it that way.
Yeah. I know. It's good that you called it out, because like as much as I'm trying to refine my language when I'm writing and when I'm talking, like we've all been indoctrinated with the feminist language and propaganda, you know. And look, you actually brought up an interesting point. So men innately, they do these things. Women innately, like why women can't just go with the nature? Why do they like, or is it within their nature to rebel? I mean, like,
according to their fallen nature. It's according to their fallen nature. The fall still impacts all women since the fall.
Dave, exactly. Go back to Genesis. And what is the curse on women?
Okay, so rebelling against femininity is the fallen nature of women.
It's rebellion against a hierarchy. And when a woman is rebellious against a hierarchy, her place in the order, she ceases to be feminine.
Exactly.
It's that simple. To be feminine, do not be rebellious. Know your place, woman.
Yeah.
Now that sounds so mean, but no, actually, a woman put in her proper place and valued for that, it's a great position to be in. Because then you don't have to be responsible for the outcome. Your husband is responsible. You are accountable to him. But all you got to do is not undermine him. No, all you got to do is not try to be the equal, not try to assert the headship in the household. No, okay, this takes discipline. But no, don't try to dominate your husband, because that's only going to lead to unhappiness. So, therefore, he shall rule over you. Yep, the husband needs to tell the wife, no.
Yes.
Nope. No, just do what I said. And actually, when he does that, she will be more physically attracted to him. She will have more peace long term, not in the moment. But she will feel more secure. Do you agree, Elena?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. It doesn't feel good at the moment sometimes, but I'm used to. I'm so used to my husband telling me no, so I'm just okay. No, no is no. And then like if a man says no, ladies, it's no. Okay? You suck it up, deal with it, forget about it, whatever you want. Move on.
And Elena, that's what this passage here talks about in Titus 2:5. To be
Ah.
discreet, chaste, keepers of home, good, obedient to their own husbands. So it's a to the end that, or so that the word of God be not blasphemed. So, Elena, what you're talking about is obedience to your husband and being discreet. And how many times does he tell you, oh, sometimes you're discreet, sometimes you're not, but your husband tells you, which is good. You still listen to him. But this to be discreet, to be circumspect about your actions,
Yeah.
right? He says, "Oh, I'm going to do this." He's like, "No, no,
Yeah,
we're
he
not
says
going
no
there.
a
No,
lot.
no,
It's
don't
great.
do that." And then sometimes you get in your way, and you put your foot in your mouth, or what do you say stuff you shouldn't say, and he's like, "Oh."
I know, I know.
No, she's not saying
What you listen?
sometimes. But Elena goes off on a point, blah, 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 blah. And this happens sometimes on stream, a lot in our private conversations. And Plutarch comes in and says, no, be quiet. He just corrects
He's
her.
like quiet.
So,
He's talking to me like he's talking like we have a dog here. You probably saw him,
so
right?
you know what? Most of the time, she's not perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes she keeps pressing the point, but then he cuts her off again. And eventually she gets it. Okay, I need to just shut up and listen for a bit here.
Yeah.
And you know what? She does a good job. But okay, all women are going to be this way. They're not perfect. They're going to try and overtalk. And when corrected or said, no, just be quiet for a moment. Let me talk.
Mm-hmm.
Elena does a pretty good job. I'd say she does it 75% of the time, which, okay, that's a high measure. Because most women do that like 0% of the time.
I know, right? Well, I watched. Oh my gosh, I don't know, Donna. Well, we'll have you on, and I'll ask you how familiar you are with Fresh and Feed and other big podcasts out there. Like sometimes, I don't have the stomach to watch these shows because I do respect Myron. I respect the other Red Pill guys who are running these shows, but like seriously, how do you tolerate these women who just don't shut up ever? Yeah.
Oh, there's a simple answer to that. It's happening in society right now. Men just walk away.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with these women. And then all the women are, where are all the men? Gee, why aren't there all any men pursuing me? I'm tired of listening to you. And they just went their own way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Donna, you are familiar with those. Oh, good. Yeah. Because, gosh, I stopped watching them. I only watch them when I see Donovan Sharp is doing reaction on those shows, and then he stops the he stops the recording, and then he breaks it down. But other than that, it's just chaotic. I'm having a headache, sometimes when I'm uh, watching those shows. Yeah. So
So do you
yeah.
see feminine traits repeated here? And there's some additional ones.
Mhm.
Obedience, chaste, okay, discreet. There's one here that I remember I was in seminary, And a lot of my guys that I still talk to today, we kind of looked at we looked at each other, said that is not right. So they had this panel. It was after chapel one day, so would have been a Wednesday. They had some guest speaker, and I think it's about counseling or something. They had a woman up there, so of course, you know what she had the most problem with here, and she wanted to explain away as historical and no longer applying. Anybody want to guess?
Could you repeat the question? What did she say?
So she said and the seminary professor agreed with her. It was about that was just historically oriented. It doesn't necessarily apply today in our modern context.
Oh,
It's
obedience?
a typical cop out. No.
No.
Which one attacks the modern woman? Well, except all of this. That wants to be career minded.
That she has to submit and be obedient to her husband, no?
Keepers at home.
Oh, keep us at home. Okay, well, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So, a woman, there's a historical phrase that's repeated in a lot of old commentaries talking about how the woman's body is built like a home and she has a home and her task is to help her husband and maintaining the home, fixing it up, preparing meals, clothing the children with what he provides basically. And sometimes it means going and she might have like a home business, which is fine, and going out and selling it and helping build the family, which is fine. But keepers at home, so not a busybody going to and fro, always at somebody's house, giving the latest gossip, always being out and about or working somewhere else where the temptation of another man is in play. So it's a sign of a lewd woman to not be at home.
Oh, the career woman is not at home.
And where do many affairs start besides social media now?
Nick, I did mention that, yes, also in my article. Yeah, a lot of corporate structure is great for cheaters.
But Nick,
Well,
come on. In our modern world, the women are educated. Some of them are actually talented. This seems like you are advocating to deprive the world of their brilliance, their contributions to make the world a better place.
So what if I am?
Sign me up there too. It's like.
So what if I am?
Yeah.
I don't care about your feelings. I don't care what makes you a special snowflake. I care about order.
Okay.
And not making the exceptions the rule.
Yeah, let me talk about this. Yeah, okay, I've been out there. A degree in mechanical engineering. As a project engineer, I managed some pretty big, important projects, millions of dollars. What was my contribution? Well, I did a good job. I got things done. If I wouldn't have been there, someone else would have done the job. And big picture, my contributions don't really matter. It would have gotten done regardless of whether I was the person there doing it or someone else. And so you ladies who are thinking, oh, I'm so damn important, I need to do this job, I'm contributing. You know what? If you weren't there, the job would still get done.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know how you can have the biggest impact on the world? Oh, isn't there a phrase, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world? Have you heard that? Stay home.
Yeah.
Raise good kids. And okay, you raise men who go out and make a difference. You raise 3 sons. and 2 daughters. Okay, the 3 sons are going to go out and do things. The 2 daughters, ideally, will marry 2 good men, and they'll stay home and they'll raise the next generation. Now, 1 generation down, okay, your grandchildren, you could have, okay, you have 5 kids, you should have 20 grandchildren. Now, gee, which woman has the bigger impact on the world? You career boss babes, or you mothers who stay home, have kids, raise those kids up right, and those kids have grandchildren. Now, okay, within your lifetime, there are the 5 plus the 20. You got 25 people who are directly influenced and good people because of you.
Yeah.
Well said, Steve. And what's so not only if you are not discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to your husbands, not only is it not feminine, but that lack of femininity in Christians means that the word of God is being blasphemed. Oh, so all these egalitarians? No, they're blasphemers. They're blaspheming the word of God. They're making the word of God be despised by those who are watching it in from the outside as well.
This is my personal view here. Why should I marry a Christian woman? I've been married to 2. They were so damn nasty. They threw me under the bus. They made false accusations, deprived me of my children. And money is secondary, but it was a lot of money too. Why the hell should I be a Christian if that's the kind of women, the Christian women you're going to find in the church?
Yeah, there are a lot of them. And
okay, so you know what? Your women, your behavior matters. And if the Christian women are no better than secular women, and in many ways worse, because okay, here's the difference: secular women do not need an excuse to vindicate themselves, so they don't tend to demonize men as badly as Christian women. So, in some aspects, Christian women are actually the worst women out there when it comes to divorce.
And they are also lipstick on a pig, right?
Yep.
I mean, they are concealing it better in comparison to other women. I can see the argument, and I was recently watching Pearl's show where she talked about the types of horse, I think, and when the men called in, and some men would say that they would prefer the public whore, woman, because you at least know what to expect from her. She doesn't wear this virtuous mask. It's easier, you know what to expect from her. I'm not saying that these women are good. They are equally, like all women
maybe
have same female nature, and yeah, I'm not condoning those women. It's just they are more honest.
So, wasn't Pearl kind of saying, comparing an honest whore to a dishonest prude?
Yeah, I think that was her intention for the show. Okay, Nick, we interrupted you. You wanted to go further with this one, yeah?
Okay, so I'll go to Paul again, 1 Timothy chapter 2. I want to notice something. There's things repeated here. And people want to say, oh, that was just back then. I want to give you the grounds of his argument first. Gar. So in Greek, it's gar, which means a grounds or gives or a further explanation. 4. That's gar. It gives an explanation for what goes above, and then there's a caveat at the end, or a Further explanation. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, but Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived, was in the transgression. So there is nature, created order, and the order of the fall. And the type of sin it was deception. We've talked about her being weaker and more liable to deception, and talks about men infiltrating homes and taking away women. He's liable to deception as well. There's that passage, and I think also First Timothy. But so there's a grounds for that. It's not current matter of society or historical context. No. He says, in like manner, also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. But, so instead, basically, contrary to that, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the women learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man,
Imagine that, huh?
but to be in silence. But to be in
Wow.
silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved. Now, that doesn't mean like, oh, I call
Oh, Nick froze.
Okay, I'll continue here.
Mhm.
She shall be
I'm there.
saved in childbearing. Go
Oh.
ahead, Nick.
Mhm.
You glitched.
So that's not necessarily referring to, professing faith, yes, but you work out your salvation also in this life. Roman Catholics and Protestants, we bicker over terms, but yeah, you work out your salvation with fear and trembling. We might call that in Protestantism sanctification, right? Okay.
Yeah, let me speak to this. She shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith, charity, and holiness with sobriety. Okay, that means she's going to bear children for her husband. She's going to keep the home, and she's going to be under his hierarchy. She's going to be obedient. She's going to let him have authority over her, and she's going to raise the children as a good woman. Now, if she has 3 to 5 kids and she's Christian, and then she divorces her husband because, he was telling me to do things that were sinful. Or let's just even say, even if he stepped out on her and had an affair and she left. Okay, now she's not continuing to live in faith, charity, because she is depriving her children of their father.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not just in bearing children. It's in your staying at home. You're doing your duty as a mother, supporting your husband for the sake of your children. Now, your children do not come first.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that again. Children do not come first. Your husband comes first. Because without putting your husband first, your children will be last. If you put your children first, you're going to discard your husband.
And it
is there
violates
something in the Bible about the first shall be last and the last shall be first? I think that applies. Okay, maybe I'm paraphrasing, but I think it kind of applies here.
If they bring children first, they violate the design. They violate the hierarchy.
Right, because you made no oath to your children.
Mm-hmm.
You did make an oath to your husband and to God. Your oath and your allegiance to your husband is supremely more important. Your responsibility to your husband is so much more important than your responsibility to your children. If the woman says, well, I need to protect my children. No, you are stepping out. You are out of your place. You are going to damage your children.
Yes.
It just doesn't work in practice. You know what? Just stay with your husband, be obedient to him, And if your children turn out bad, then truly it won't be your fault. Because he has responsibility for that. If, on the other hand, you divorce to save your children from your evil, nasty, sinful husband, now guess what? You invited all that authority onto yourself.
And
That's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, and her children will be even in a worse place than they would be if she stayed married with that man.
Usually, in the vast majority of cases, yes.
Yeah.
But notice it, and you guys are right. You destroy the order, you reap chaos. So you reap the whirlwind? What's the phrase?
Sow the wind and reap the whirlwind.
Pretty much. And yeah, sorry. So we see here traits of femininity. Okay, they're repeated: obedience, authority, it's rooted in creation order, and the particular first sin, right? Okay. They need a man to keep them in the check. They're not to be rulers of authority. They're not to be wielders of authority except over their kids, but that's under their husband, right? Okay. Notice it goes back to a biological design. We can talk about biology here. But women's breasts, what are they made for?
Suckling.
Okay. Yeah, that's a design, but are they to be sucked? Okay. Okay.
Suckling. You know,
yeah.
I'm talking, you know, that's completely a proper term.
She's to give the children suck, right? They're made to produce.
Suckling is nourishment to children.
Yeah. Biologically, women are biologically designed with breasts to produce milk for their children, their womb. And, their lower organs, right? Their vagina and clitoris. Oh, yeah. Sex is meant to be enjoyable with your husband. Yeah. And you're designed to have one penis in you, right? That of your husband. You don't.
I mean, ideally, yes.
And you have a womb, and you have eggs that can be fertilized through the sperm, the seed of man, right? And you are built, your hips, the way you're designed, where women's hips can be pulled up, I don't know if I'm speaking correctly. The hips can adjust for the birthing of children, and their whole body is so amazingly designed that they have children housed within them.
Life. Procreation. God created. People procreate in the image and likeness of God. We participate in creation that way. It's a much lesser extent, but that's the amazing thing about humans.
And it is designed for you to enjoy the act of procreation. And women are designed for procreation. And can they do that very well if they don't need no man, right? And they're treated as men in the workplace, right? If you're really equals, no one gives a crap about your pregnancy and your, your leave. That's all designed to prop up the feminine imperative. That's all designed to prop up women working outside the home instead of being at home raising children.
Are you aware that the traditional design of churches is somewhat reflective of female anatomy? Have you ever heard this, Nick?
I might have, but I can't recall.
Okay. So the door into the church in a traditional old Catholic church has an arch and it's curved at the top. with a keystone. The entrance to the church. Gee, what does that remind you of? Oh, what's the first part when you enter the church? The vestibule. Does that have an equivalence in female anatomy? Then you move into the sanctuary, the sacred space. Okay, that's where the people are. And then up ahead of that is, the nave. And then it's a sanctuary. The sanctuary is where the tabernacle is. That's where the sacrifice of God became flesh happens. So, but in ancient churches, they talked about this symbology.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in modern American churches, no. You enter the church, and then you have the gathering space. And then you move into the main part of the church. Oh, that's the worship space. And it's lost all that physical symbolism. The other thing was the church was a dark place. You had stained glass. Stained glass took the white light from the outside, filtered it so it's colored light coming in. It distinguished the profane world from the sacred world. It was a holy space. And you walk into a church like that, it's just a sense of peace and rightness, and you feel that God is here. You walk in all alone. You're the only person in that church. You have a sense of peace. You walk into a Protestant rock band worship church.
Oh.
Do you have any sense that God is here? Your whole environment is different. And in the ancient world, they understood these things. Symbolism was important.
Yeah. Shiv here asks a question. What should be the bride's vows look like in today's climate? Marriage counseling, white knight elders.
Okay, women don't understand vows. The Bible even says so. Right, Nick?
Oh yeah, I mean they do take vows, but it takes a village to hold them accountable.
But in the Old Testament, if a woman makes a vow and the unmarried woman makes a vow and her father or husband isn't around, is the vow valid?
No.
So don't count on a woman's vows. She
And that comes
doesn't
from
view
Numbers
vows the
30.
same as a man. She needs to be restrained and held to her vows in a manner that men don't. That's a conclusion I've come to. You know, I don't like that conclusion, but that's what everything that I've observed leads me to understand. And yes, it's even consistent with what the Bible says.
Yeah, and this actually explains why a bride was passed on from her father to the groom, like in marriage ceremonies.
That's reflected
Who
in
gives
Numbers 30 as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in our modern marriage ceremony? Who gives this woman?
She gives
Father
herself,
and the mother.
or grandma, or
Father gives this woman. He escorts the bride up the aisle
Mhm.
and he gives her hand to the man.
To the
He's
man.
passing his authority to the man.
Yeah.
Oh, we've perverted that now in so many churches.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the husband and the wife who escort
Oh,
the bride, the
jeez.
daughter up there. And then who gives this woman? Well, we do. No, the hell you don't. You're perverting the
Yeah.
symbolism and the hierarchy. How's this working out in our modern world?
Yeah.
Not well. Shocker, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, shall we watch this video, guys, from this femininity guru, just for fun? Let's do
Go
it.
for it.
Okay, I'll just show it. We won't spend too much time on it. It's just funny. Okay, let me share my bullshit folder with you guys. This is how I call it. Oh, okay. You can see I have. Okay, next week we are going to watch a couple of lawyers' videos. And now, okay, where is she? Okay, this is the lady. We are going to watch her. Let's watch this one. Okay. Oh, no, first let's watch this one. This is the one I wanted you to see.
Her man. A feminine woman. A feminine woman. Women are never happy in relationships if they chase a man. That's why you want to become a feminine woman. A feminine woman with her man. A feminine woman. A feminine woman. Women are never happy in relationships if they chase a man. That's
Okay, you get it, right?
Yep.
What do you think?
Okay. Whatever. She never says what a feminine woman is. She just points to them.
Yeah, I know, but did you see my comments? Like some of these people, like watch the position of how the photo was taken. The man was on the background somewhere where he is irrelevant completely. All of the emphasis is on the woman. She's the star,
Okay.
right? The man is chasing her.
Okay, so from my stories that I've told you about, I don't give a shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit, right? I'll be sitting there minding my own business, and women start talking.
Mm-hmm.
They maybe start nudging my shoulder a little bit, petting my arm, and I'm just like, okay. The more I pull, right, instead of push, more I don't chase, the more I don't give a crap, the harder they try, and the more interested they are. And I don't
Yeah.
want them interested.
No, but that's what's so attractive when men don't chase women. And like, look, she's just telling women the feminist BS, okay? And then this woman, as a result, I did call her out a few times, and she obviously ignores my comments. And like, if she has the clout, they really don't like me there. But yeah, I did tell her that like this just spreads more delusion and entitlement to women, and as a result women end up being single. It's like, okay, you sell your book there. She's the author. She wrote your book on femininity. She's not talking about it on social media, but apparently she has a book on femininity. But based on the content that she posts, I'm like, this is just toxic femininity, I would call it. So let's watch another one of her. Like, look here.
why is it so hard to attract a masculine man in 2025? Why, ladies? Because you don't know how to lean back and receive. You always want to be in charge and in control. Lead the conversation, ask too many questions. You're so independent. You work hard. You have to pay for everything. You want to make sure that everything goes perfect. You plan everything. And that's why you push the masculine energy away, because masculine energy chases, takes control, takes charge, makes decisions. Feminine energy pulls back and is
Okay, hold on.
is attracting. So if you want to learn how to truly attract masculine energy and not be around feminine energy.
Okay, sorry, Steve. It took me a while. This music, I just don't understand it.
All I can see is the cleavage. That's all I know.
Exactly. This is what I was looking at too. Like, okay, she says feminine. Okay, expose your cleavage, expose your body parts to the men. And she calls it femininity. I call it whoredom. Okay?
Okay, but she did say lean back.
Mm-hmm.
When she leans back, what becomes more prominent?
Her cleavage.
Oh, what she has to give to you. Hey, look at these wonderful love bags.
Mm, yeah, I had to rewatch that video a few times because even I'm a woman, right? And even I was distracted with her décolletage. Ah, yeah. So you receive the
Why
energy.
why can't they
Mm-hmm.
why can't they find a masculine man? Okay, so they want a man to pursue them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why should a man pursue them?
That's the question that they refuse to answer. Or if they
Well,
if they
it's
say
clear.
they are so special and unique, and a man is better off with her
A
than
man should
alone.
pursue her because she's got great tits.
Exactly.
Gosh.
And look,
No, but
receive, prepare to receive. I always pay attention to the content of what they actually say in the message that they are sending out to women. Prepare to receive. It means you take value from others. You don't produce anything. And I mentioned it in my article. I connected it to Loochers and Moochers from Atlas Shrugged by Ian Rand, where these people, they are just taking value. They are not producing any value.
no, that's true. Now, is it wrong for a man to give her attention? And you could consider that partly a chase. Yeah, there's a give and back. There's a push and pull in
Mhm.
conversation, meeting women. Sure, you can give them some attention, but you don't want to give them too much because if let's just say what this says, they say they don't need no man, but they want a man to provide resources, right? Or they're hit the wall or about to hit the wall, epiphany phase. Oh, I need to have kids, right? They're desperate
Mhm.
for a man. What they're really looking for is a man that will shower them with all the attention, give them kids, and they will never respect it.
Well, because they view kids as a weapon against the man to extract more resources from the man. They don't actually need a man, Nick. They just
And
want
they're
to
not going to be
pop up the
attracted to them.
kids. Yeah, and they're not going to
They're
be
not,
attracted. They will pop up the kids to squeeze more resources from the man, and then like say bye to him and go
Yeah.
pursue themselves.
In practice, especially Christian women, this is a bait and switch. Okay, a Christian woman might not necessarily be wearing low cleavage,
Hmm.
but she's selling her sexuality to attract a man.
Yeah.
And then when the man wifes her up and is married, all of a sudden she flips and says, "Oh, you just view me as a sex object. And I'm so much more than that. So I'm not going to give you sex because that's all you see me as." Hey, lady, that's what you were selling at the beginning. That was your feature. And he wifed you up. And now you're not giving him any of that because it's degrading
Oh, okay.
because
She's
of how
not
he sees
giving
you,
it to
but you
him.
were the one who started it.
Exactly. She's not giving it to him, but she's willing to post semi-naked pictures of herself on social media and give it to the horny dudes on the internet. She's a team woman. That kind of mentality where yeah, she doesn't do anything for the benefit of the man that she's with, who chose to sacrifice his freedom, right? He could have found a better woman, let's say. He could have committed to a woman who would give it to him. Instead, he chose her,
Elena.
right?
Elena, she is the table, don't you know?
Yeah, fuck it. I don't.
No, you say, what do you bring to the table? I am the table.
I know, right? It's. I'm so glad that a lot more men start waking up to this bullshit, because every woman has a vagina. Every woman has teeth and ass. There is nothing special in those teeth that I just saw posted by this author. It's like I didn't see anything special. I mean, okay, she's showing it off to the horny dudes on the internet. They are relying that the men will keep simping, the men will keep pedestalizing and worshiping them. This is what they are relying on. They don't actually
Okay.
want, and then they are complaining, Nick. They are complaining like the absurdity of the whole thing. It's like, why is it so hard to find good men in 2025?
Here's a question I encourage men to ask. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I had one of my headphones went out of battery. So I encourage men to ask this question. I know it's a sin, this is a sin, but I want you to think this way strategically. I'm not saying go do this, but think of a prostitute, right? And you pay them to leave, right?
Yeah.
You get what you need and she leaves, you don't get a headache. Now, I've never had a prostitute, okay? I'm saying that I don't encourage men to do that. But what does this woman offer you that's better than a prostitute?
Peace.
These modern women, they're worse than prostitutes.
They
At
are.
least the prostitute doesn't give you a headache and she leaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying go sleep with prostitutes, but
Well, and see, this is
have
the
that thought how is this woman better for you than a prostitute?
yeah. Like if I were a man, look, if I had to do it, I would probably just watch porn, honestly. Just to stay safe and not to get the STDs. But look, I understand the physical urges, right? Like it's easier to pay a prostitute and satisfy your sexual drive rather than committing to a woman who will destroy your life. She will use you for as a walking ATM, and then the moment you no longer serve her, right, or the moment she doesn't find you attractive anymore, she leaves you, she takes the kids away from you. It's like modern women, they are not wifeable today. They are
Well,
for
Elena,
pump and
sounds to
dump
me like
use only.
you're agreeing with Pearl. An honest whore is better than a dishonest prude.
I do agree with her. Yeah, I just don't like. I don't think it's good. I don't think that the course are good. You know what I mean? It's like they all have the same mindset. They are chasing the same things. They are pursuing clout attention. They don't want to commit to one man. They are not worthy of men's investment and the long-term security, the long-term commitment from men.
Yeah. Okay. So let me say this, guys. Don't think you can take an honest whore and make a good wife out of her.
Yeah.
You cannot trust them.
Yeah,
Neither
they are
can
on
you
the same
trust
level.
a dishonest
Mhm.
prude.
Exactly. They are on the same level. They have the same insights. They have the same mindset. They have the same belief system.
Neither are feminine. One, at least, you get some feminine qualities out of her for a time and it costs you money.
Hmm.
The other, you may get very little feminine qualities, but it'll cost you a lot more time and money and pain.
Okay. I told this term to Nick a few months ago. The CPF. Do you remember what that means, Nick?
CPF or GPS?
CPF.
F. Mhm.
Nope, I don't remember.
Okay, you need to calculate your CPF.
Cost per
And
cost per
cost per
Yeah, yeah.
fuck. So a
Okay.
divorced man, think how many times did you do her? Now think about how much it cost you during the course of the marriage and then post-divorce. Guess what? The CPF grows and grows. It's not done. You're not done paying. It's going to
Yeah.
get bigger and bigger post-divorce after you end up paying through
Mm.
the nose. So Oh, was your ex a whore? If she's still cashing in, I would say yeah.
She's more expensive, a more expensive whore than just like a public whore that you find on
Absolutely,
certain
yes.
pubs. Higher priced whore, I would say. She's still and like, okay, women say, but I'm a woman, right? I'm a wife, and I have been married to this abusive man until he decided to cheat on me, or he decided to leave me, and blah blah blah. But then she still gets paid through alimony, through child support. It's like, come on.
Yes. It's the most expensive starfish sex you're ever going to have.
Truth.
I'm writing it down, Steve.
Truth.
Hey, guess what? I'm an old guy. I don't care. I just throw this stuff out there. And yeah, I hope it offends people, but at least it'll make them think.
Yeah, true. It's like, what objective value do women bring today? Except from taking from men, from our society. What do they offer? They all want the long-term security. Okay, they all want, at some point they hit the wall. Okay, when they are in their 20s, they don't think about it, but we all know that it's coming for them. So in their 30s, 40s, they want to consolidate on the best men they can find, right? There is no way around it. And then what do they offer? Their eggs expire, right? They are no longer fertile. They can't really have kids at this point. What else? Their beauty decays. It doesn't matter how much plastic surgery they do. It doesn't matter what cosmetology they use. What do they offer from aside from a
That
huge expense that they invest into their health, into their appearance? Because the older women get, the more money they have to invest to maintain their beauty, right?
that is the question that women need to answer.
Well, this is why I'm throwing it out there, ladies. If you are watching, one and a half of you ladies watching, like, what do you bring to the table? Objectively. I don't care about what you think of yourself. I don't care about your perceptual SMV there, your subjective SMV. How does a man benefit from you? I could see the practical argument for dowry in that case that our friend Shah is suggesting there for women. It's like, okay, if you want to pursue your career, you've made enough money, right? You have some savings, then offer it up. At least maybe some men will consider it, because we are so far from traditional society.
Yeah. Oh, I guess a man needs a table like a squirrel needs an airplane.
Mm-hmm. Pretty
It's a
much.
twist of an old phrase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That table that you offer is not relevant. It's not useful.
Okay, so what do men want, Steve? Three things. What are the three things that men
Mhm.
want?
Three things, 4 letters. RSVP.
Yep.
Respect.
Hmm.
Sexual variety.
Yeah.
Peace. It's quite simple.
Yeah.
If a woman can bring that, you know what? It's going to work because men, okay, man, she respects me. Man, I can have all the bedroom fun that I want. And she's not a prude in the bedroom. Damn, that's pretty good. And she's not nagging and telling me what to do and complaining that the garbage wasn't taken out. And yeah, well, wait, she even makes my lunch. So when I leave for work in the morning, my lunch is all ready to go. And I go work all day long and bring home the money. When I come home and she respects me,
Mm-hmm.
man, I can have bedroom fun, and she's not nagging my ass. Oh, life is so good. I love this woman.
Yeah, men are pretty simple creatures. Like they really don't need much, you know. It's just the trouble that women go through to refuse to give these basic things to men. I mean, yeah, the delusion never ends there.
So women will have like list upon list upon lists that they want. Then men want those three things. Okay. But if a man's got frame, he has got game, he's decently attractive, has some resources, that list might get smaller if she's into him. That's what she says, and what she does are different things.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you mean she can tweak around her list a little bit? Oh, okay.
Well, they all do. They all do.
Mm-hmm. For the right man, for the for the alpha chat, yeah. Yeah.
But then they get mad when he's not interested in her and just wants to use her.
I know. Okay, guys, I have an idea here, and I've been thinking about it since I came into the red pill and started watching this content. Women with age, ideally, right? This would make sense. They should reduce their list of demands. Because okay, based on their objective sexual market value, they lose their fertility, they lose their youth, they use their beauty, they become wrinkly, right? It comes to all of us. We were born at some point, we will die at some point, right? We are aging, and there is not much you can do there. So like logically,
No.
their list should
No.
Yeah, Steve's got it too. Steve's got it.
She's got she's got fewer years left.
okay.
So why should she settle? And you know what? She's got her career. She's learned all this. She's had fun traveling. She's gone on a journey to find herself. And now she's a much better woman than she was in her 20s.
Oh, yes.
So
all of the
there is no reason for her to settle.
Yeah, I know, right? Especially when she got her career on point, her multiple degrees. What else? She's strong and independent. She knows her value and her worth, right?
Yep, for the streets.
I know, right? Like all of that effort, lady, and you end up being a single run through 3 or 4 who belongs to the streets. Congratulations, you played yourself.
And why is that? There's probably no strong father figure.
Oh, yeah.
Feminism was bred into her at a young age. She got run through.
Mm-hmm.
And, the sisterhood.
Oh, yes.
Team woman.
But Nick, she's had all those valuable experiences.
That's what she feels. It's not.
I know, right?
Feels before reals. That you have all this propaganda, you have the sisterhood, you have the feminist propaganda, probably a lack of a strong father figure that told her to shut up, get married at a young age, be happy with a good man. Or they might have had a simp for a father. A lot of simps for fathers. So
Well,
yeah.
yeah, they usually have the same impact if a girl has a weak father who is simping for her mother, who is a feminine man. Then they have the same outcome as the women who were raised in a single family household by the mother.
I've come across this. There are a lot of good men, older, maybe even a bit older than me. I like these guys. They're good, decent men. But if they're Christian, they bought into this idea that women are angelic.
Ah, okay.
And they did not assert authority and discipline in their households. And their daughters grew up to go to San Francisco, live that lifestyle, freewheeling, boss babe, wild woman. And they're wondering why the hell that happened. Oh, thank God she's at 40. She's finally found a man to marry. Okay, that happens a lot.
And you know,
These Christian men are so okay, and it's my age and older. They've been so indoctrinated with this egalitarianism, and the women are angelic creatures, that they were not dominant, authoritative, not authoritarian, authoritative. It has a different meaning. They did not rule their households and their children. Men, their sons, kind of ne'er-do-well.
well,
And their daughters are wanton. It didn't work.
The sad thing in this whole scenario that you're describing, Steve, is that there will be men who will wife up these run through career women in their 40s who like look awful, like who spend their time chasing their career, right? Who are prioritizing, oh, Jesus is my boyfriend, or like hanging out with your girlfriends. There will be always a simp who will wife them up.
Yeah, and you're gonna have 7 to 10 years. And then she's going to need to go find herself again and go on a journey.
Sure. Yeah. They already don't realize how lucky they are that somebody actually wifed them up. They take these simps for granted. And the more men are sacrificing themselves for the women, the more women take it for granted. They don't appreciate this man. They don't value this man. They have zero respect for this man.
Elena, there's hope. Men are starting to wake up.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. Yeah, I'm truly, truly glad that more men are wisening up. And yeah.
Here's what's happening now. The decent men are just saying, nah, this isn't for me. Women are not quite getting it. I mean, mentally. Physically, they're getting it. Because they're still out playing fun, and you got 10% of men out banging all the women. The alpha studs. Ladies, those guys are not quality. They're not going to wife you up. Even if they did, they're not the solid, stable guys. You know what? The stability comes with the average guy who might be a bit boring, who might not be as tall, might not have as much money, might not be flashy. But you know what? If you give him a chance, there's no reason he couldn't be a good guy. Now, I do not recommend settling. Sexual attraction, it needs to be present. And it's not all about superficial appearances. You absolutely need to be sexually attracted to the man. A lot of men are a little bit inept at approaching and having the confidence because it's been trained out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that does not mean that the man can't grow into that. Doesn't mean you should settle for a man you're not sexually attracted to. But you know what? You can be sexually attracted to a man who is not 6 foot tall, who doesn't earn over $100,000, and who is not that physically fit. You know, just an average guy. It's not out of the realm of reality to be sexually attracted to such a man.
Well, they have to want to be attracted to, such a man. But then they were brainwashed to pursue the best because they all graduated from college. They all know their value, their worth, that they deserve the best man they can get. So they will probably disregard what if you are telling to them, because what you are asking women to do is to restrain their hypogamous nature. Which is good. I agree with you,
And ladies, just because you have a college degree or a master's degree,
mm-hmm.
and the guy's a tradesman, it doesn't mean he's not still smarter than you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But it would require them to pay attention to his intellect, to his other traits, rather than physical attraction. They would have to evaluate men for what men traditionally were valued for, their ability to provide, take care, right? And also their thought process, their intellect. What else was there? That women traditionally, how would women look at man and say, okay, he is a good husband material. Let's say he would be a good father for our future children. I want to be with this man, and I want to stay loyal to him. This would require women to let go of their delusions and entitlement that they've been brainwashed. Now, how willing are women, how desperate are women to do that?
On a scale of 1 to 10? 1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They would have to let go of all of that feminist crap that they've been brainwashed now for multiple generations already.
And actually be feminine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would I want to marry a woman that doesn't act like a woman, but has more traits of a lewd woman and a effeminate man?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
And this is the question that women usually refuse to ask themselves. They don't want to place themselves in men's shoes, or that men that they want, let's say a traditional dominant masculine man, right? They refuse to put themselves into his shoes and then look at themselves from these men's eyes and tell, okay, what would this kind of man that I want in a woman? What kind of value can I bring to him?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to disagree with you again.
Go for it.
Women don't refuse to do that. They lack the capacity.
Okay, yeah.
Because what you're talking about is abstract thought.
Yeah. I knew
Okay.
you were going to get there.
In general, women are not good at abstract thought. To think of something outside of their own experience. So most women are of average intelligence. Most men are of average intelligence. In order to really be capable of abstract thought, you have to be over one standard deviation above the standard intelligence level. So one average, call it 100.
100.
One standard deviation is 115. Two standard deviations, this is for men. Two standard deviations is 130. In order to be capable of abstract thought, you have to have an IQ 1.5 standard deviations above the average. Okay, call it 120-ish, 120, between 120 and 125. So what percentage of people are in that range? No, we don't have Plutarch here. He could
He would
answer this.
Mm-hmm.
I would say one standard deviation is around, I don't know, 10-15%. Two standard deviations would be 5%. Three standard deviations, like 145, 140 to 145. That's less. That's about 1% or less. So you're only talking 15% of people in general are capable of this. So the women capable of understanding men, that requires abstract thought, that's like 1 in 8 women, maybe 1 in 10 women. So don't expect women to do something that in large they're incapable of doing. So it's not an act of will. They refuse to do it. No, they lack the capacity to do it.
But they have the EQ, Steve.
Okay.
Feels before feels.
You know what? That and $3 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Oh, I'm so putting it into my next article. Okay. EQ and $3 will get you a cup of coffee. Yeah, so useful. Again, EQ. I know you guys. You laugh at the. I think you did. Did you do the video on intellect to the IQ? Which live stream was it? You did so many videos.
We've talked about that. I don't know which.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, about the standard deviations and how hard it is to find people with high IQ. Yeah. Wow. Well, we've been going for a while, guys. Do you have any closing thoughts? Any final ideas? Any suggestions, maybe?
Oh, I will. But I first need you to answer this question.
Okay, go for it.
What is femininity?
You're putting me on the spotlight again, Steve. I haven't even summarized. I haven't processed all of the information that we've talked about. Well, I would say in short, okay, it's listening to your husband, obeying his lead, not rebelling against his authority, and being modest, having humility. Okay, let me see what else do I have here.
No. Stop right there.
Okay.
you did a great summary.
Did I?
Oh, yeah. See, put Elena on the spot. She's got all this information rattling around up there. Got to challenge her. She came up with a good summary. And I can't add anything to that summary.
Yay, I did it. Because last time you asked me, I was struggling with summarizing all of the thoughts. Nick, do you have any final
One
thoughts?
more thing.
Uh-huh.
Being a private being a slut for your husband,
Yes,
but
that's a
not for
good one.
anyone else. There you go.
Yeah, be a slut for your husband.
RSVP.
Yeah, true.
Sexual variety. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, and this concludes our live stream today, guys. Thank you so much for those of you who showed up. We appreciate you. Remember, if you're watching the replay, tell us what you think about femininity and feminine women. Maybe we missed something. Let us know in the comments. And then if you'd like to challenge us, if you'd like to debate us, reach out. Okay, we love challenging our own ideas here. And then you can always reach out to the Resurgence of Sanity guys if you'd like to talk to them too. And let me share the schedule that we have here. Awesome. So yeah, join us for these deep dive discussions that we have with the Resurgence of Sanity guys and occasional guests on Saturdays at 9:15 a.m. Pacific. Then go subscribe to the Resurgence of Sanity YouTube channel. On Wednesdays, you guys have amazing shows at 5:45 p.m. Pacific. What are you talking about this coming Wednesday?
We're doing demographics and economics.
Awesome.
mistaken.
I will have to rewatch that one because I'm teaching a class when guys start their live stream. So I'll join you as soon as I can. And yeah, I'll be definitely watching that live stream. I'm curious to see the data on that. And then join us for regular workouts from Mondays to Fridays and Sundays. This week I was taking a break because of the allergies, but next week I plan on resuming the classes, guys. And then join us on Sundays for my regular piano practice. You can request some songs from the website on elenasbarre.com. You can check the approximate song list and then request a few songs for me to work on. I'm not a professional pianist, but I try. And then you can sign up for the cross-training fitness program on Udemy, and then support the channel by signing up for monthly membership on Patreon. And please go subscribe to my Substack articles, please, here at Elena's Bar, so that you stay on track with what we are talking about. I don't write them every week, maybe every other week or so, because it takes a while to summarize the thoughts and challenge the ideas. But this should give you a brief summary of what we are talking about, okay? And yeah, join us for more discussions. We are having a lot of fun here. Thank you so much for joining us today. My dog is whining here. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you. Bye.
Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far.